proxy.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
I can.
because we're here today. We're here today to talk about proxies, which I recently found out is not actually the name of a street drug. It is, get it? Yeah, it is imitation Magic the Gathering cards, right? Isn't that what it is? But we're going to talk about the nuances of the proxies, right? A little more nuanced conversation. Alison, what do you think our first nuance should be as far as discussing it?
Well, this original idea in this whole conversation kind of comes from that video that I just recently posted about that whole conversation on the Edgar Markov proxies. And one thing, go on.
Well, just for the record, I did it because there is a lot of AI art being made on Edgar Markov proxies, and it was just a lot of them were terrible. I mean, obviously they're terrible because they're AI, but that part bothered me because it's like proxying a card is technically stealing, right? Or if you're trying to imitate a Magic card, it's technically like that. But for some reason, and Alison and I were talking about this, there was something egregious and offensive about taking a card and then using AI to make the artwork. It's like, how much do you need to steal to do this? Because there was this one guy on the site, I think I showed you, Alison, the guy who sung the Legend of Zelda Commander set.
Exactly.
Which was completely made up. He designed the cards, made them himself, and then was stealing artwork from Legend of Zelda and selling them for like $130 a set. Yeah. And he was sold like 25 of them. And it was like, so.
And that was only one of the products. Like he had Dark Souls, Bloodborne.
The best approach for me is the approach Rafael Sais from Format for Fun here in Brazil had, that he made an entire commander deck from communist icons, and it was all reskins using no copyrighted photos from that communist icons. So
I mean, I can't imagine that there was probably a lot of because communism probably is not probably not terribly obsessed with copyright, right?
And he gave for everyone is just going to his account on Twitter, and the pinned tweet is the entire deck to print and play.
I didn't realize there were 100 social.
That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work.
That's very dedicated. I don't know if I could dedicate even any philosophy I have a life to Magic. I'd be maybe I don't know, farting.
Yeah, there are Chinese icons, there are Cuban icons.
Oh well, yeah. There's a ton of Chinese, but all the really famous ones are from Russia.
Like Lenin and Mao and
did he create the new cards, or did he made based on
it's
the
all
existing cards?
reskins. Like Lenin is the Red Terror.
Oh, got it.
And
because there is another aspect of proxying, which is I don't know if it counts as proxy, but if you create custom cards, how does that fit to the conversation?
Well, that's the thing, is that is technically, I think that is I think a proxy is what? Imitation Magic the Gathering art or cards, right? So I think technically creating new cards yourself would be it's a proxy. It's just an unofficial proxy.
Yeah, and there is this discussion about proxy being something official to a judge proxy when wizards mess up and print a very important card in foil only, and foils are Pringles, and they have to put a mountain to be the extra turn magic and spell and that is a proxy, technically speaking.
The Magic 30 was those were proxies.
Yeah, I mean, you can say you can use substitutes like the old Words decks, or even Magic 30, or Wizard sell proxies, right?
Wizard sells proxies.
What's the difference between that Black Lotus they sold in these proxy proxy product in Magic 30, and one that I can just print out here and put in my shield? I think
$1,000 a pack.
Yeah, I think the moral dilemma sits on not selling proxies that are fake cards and not proxies, and for somebody who will get a really, really big hit in their money. So I think the moral discussion lies here, not in using or not with our friends in a kitchen table while you play Magic the Gathering with your friends with pieces of cardboard that can buy a whole apartment, you know?
But like, okay, so, but my question to you two is, okay, so, because I have certain situations, like for me, it's like proxies are almost like it's a person-to-person like basis or a group basis where it's like, if I'm playing, like for instance, part of my play group, one of the persons in my play group here uses all proxies because his mother has a industrial printer that can like, and so he'll come with like new decks every 5 minutes, but he never plays anything ridiculously overpowered, and he enjoys playing the game where he lets people do, like, he likes to let the game like go on and do itself. Whereas I enjoy that, but where if somebody came in with proxies that were of all these really powerful cards and came in and just wiped the floor and, you know, like the game was a minute long, that's when I would be like, I don't know how I feel about proxies, but I want to know how you guys feel. Like, what are situations where you find them acceptable versus unacceptable?
I think that the rule 0 still stands, you know, if the group agrees in the way that it's being done. And I think the person who is proxying has to have good senses of what's happening and what is expected of him or her or them. Sorry, English is not my first language.
No, I mean, no, but I mean, we were talking about my guy, so it's like that's acceptable.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
We all know we are all inclusive here on concepts.
Yeah, I am literally a trans woman, so.
Yeah, I mean, not figuratively. I mean, definitely not figuratively.
Yeah, it's hard to figure it. I pass. So getting back to the subject, I think it's all about conversation and getting the goals of the group really clear. So okay, you want to play proxy, and we are not. We don't think it's bad. So okay, how do you play proxies? Please don't come here with a CDH deck ready to crush everybody, because we are not playing CDH. And I think it's not different from when it's not proxies, when it's real cards. Because when it's real cards, the guy can still make these CDH that can crush everybody.
CEDH, I don't get it. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. It's like it's not made for me.
I mean, we tried PDH, which is Pauper EDH, some other day. That was fun as hell.
That was fun. Now,
that was fun.
Like, you know what? That would be something where I would see, my problem with proxies is like, if I ever proxy, I want my proxies to look nice. Like, I want them to be attractive proxies. Like, I can't be like doing anything and like a proxy that says like
black and white, just
mountain,
like
and just have like a tree on it or something like.
In Portuguese, we call it xerocão.
Wait, yeah. Wait, was
it's
that?
A Xerox, when you do a Xerox and put in front of another card in a sheet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I was like, one time we used a Xerox to scan our own butts when we were kids, and we broke.
Yeah.
So there was like broken glass and like butt cheek coming out of the. Yeah, it was good times. But that's not a proxy that I would use. Maybe for hit the mother load, it would work.
What's it? Damnation? I don't know. We can proxy that.
Armageddon.
Armageddon, something like that. Yeah. One of the problems, and you mentioned like that friend of yours who just like gets the proxies, and apparently he makes like really good decks. One of the problems
really
that I realized. Fun decks, yeah. And
they let people do their thing though.
And I got jealous of that because like when we started playing Magic and people realized that proxies were a thing, the first problem we had was the ones who did not like proxies, and that was basically like a wallet race to see whoever could buy the most expensive cards. And that was the other guys who were just like print out the cards or something. And then, you know, that evolved through the proxies. that evolved into that discussion, like the arms race, and that ended up becoming like eventually one of the sides had to give, especially when you have someone who's not able to afford it and don't like the proxies or something, and you end up having that conversation.
Yeah. It's sort of like if you're in a group where somebody is like, that's like, if one person says no proxies, that kind of makes it difficult to allow it, because there is I fundamentally, I get it. You can't, if they're not legit, and I can see why somebody would be bothered by the fact that they paid for everything that they got, and then now all of a sudden they're playing against a deck that technically costs more than theirs. Like, I understand that. I mean, I do think that trying to like gatekeep with your wallet is really crappy, and anybody who does that is not, they're doing it for the wrong reasons. Like, that means that they're just threatened that they don't want to let a better player in. Yeah. So one way to stop better players from getting in is to try to price them out. But
I see. For me, I do not proxy, but I defend the right to proxy. Because I like the collectible thing of Magic. For me, it's the coolest part of Magic is to get cards and to know odd cards and different cards that I never imagined they existed while trading cards. But for me, that's the coolest part of Magic, to make decks with not the best cards because I don't have them and I can have to use the creativity. That's the thing that moves me in Magic. But the work I did for myself is that that's the way I like to play Magic. But there are people that just want to have the experience of playing with a certain deck, and they don't make money enough to pay for their rent. So will I be the one that says no? You will not have this fun, because
some people would not be able to even afford like the Xerox page, like the bad print, right? Because if you're printing a full CEDH deck, or in this case a commander deck, like that's like what, like 7 pages or something, and if you want a good print or something. You actually brought a really good point, Duda. That is like that's how you like to play it, but you don't force that upon others. Like, you had your own beliefs, and that's what happened. Because that whole thing with proxies with me, that kind of goes into the player maturity, right? Like when you stop like whining about the counter spells and all that stuff. What we basically decided was everybody was going to print a CDH deck, and we played CDH printed decks for like a week, and then we realized, okay, everybody was powerful, everything was dead, and okay, we reached possibly the most powerful decks. What now? And then we, it was like, okay, the proxy kind of solved that, and now we can go back into the other veins. I became the guy who gets the crappy cards first and then upgrades the deck. I got a friend of mine who like net decks the whole deck and does it all again. I got a friend who's two proxies. And that kind of, I feel like the proxies at the start, before we just went all in, they kind of affected the way the players would see the game, and they will balance. Like, if you get that into a player who's not used to talking about like power level or something among the group, that could affect it. And that's where we start maybe having the bad side of proxies, right?
Yeah, I think that people should announce that they're playing proxies when they're playing proxies too.
Definitely.
Yeah, it for me it's the basis, because in Portuguese you have a saying that says combinado não sai caro. That's hard to translate. Alison?
Yeah, what's agreed upon, it's not expensive.
Okay. That makes total sense. It's like, even amongst our, like, Alison and I's play group, there was an incident where proxies were popping up, and we were like, what's going on with this? Like,
all of a sudden,
what's happening? And there was no announcement of proxies, and you know who you are, who did this, and we're talking about you. And I hope that you hear this and you think
naughty boy. You naughty boy, you're gonna get target next game.
Naughty boy. But I think that, Leah, if you announce it, that's fine. But there's like deception in Commander is always an amazingly wonderful thing. I don't know, people. This one time, this guy, this is non-proxy related, but this guy wrote on Facebook like, "Hey, I've never played Commander before. Can somebody come and help me learn the game?" And me and my friend were like, "Okay, we'll do that." We respond. We bring our like weakest deck. We get there, and he has this like massive like what is the dragon infect? What's that? The Phyrexian
like, Skittles.
Yeah,
Skittles. Yeah, that's
both of us in like a minute, and we were like, didn't you say that you were just starting to play Commander? He's like, "Oh yeah, but I've been playing competitively Magic for 10 years." And I was like, "What? Okay. Did you just
that's nice.
Did you go online to find two complete strangers and lie to them so you could beat their beat their asses and then just like be like, oh, I got you. I don't know you, but man, I pulled one over on you." He was like, "Do you want to play another game?" We're like, No. We don't.
Yeah, and I think the punishment in air quotes punishment for the people who abuse proxies is not having anyone to play with them anymore. Because I am used to say this in my local community here in Rio Grande do Sul, where I was born and raised. I used to say it for the guys, like, you can do whatever you want, but I will not. I am not obligated to play with you. If I don't like to play with you, you can still doing this thing, and I will not play. We are happy, but you can change the way you play, and I will be happy to play with you again. And I think that's a way to deal. Not the best way, but a way.
I mean, there are some people that like are not fun to play with. Like,
yeah. And they will be not fun to play with, even with real cards. So proxy is not the problem. The problem is the player, not the proxy.
Yeah, some people like to just play in a way that's like, how can I prevent everybody from having a good time? Is their version of a good time, which for me is that not gonna fly. Like, I like kind of treat Commander as like a social hour. Like you kind of like, it's almost like you're having coffee, except instead of coffee, you're playing a game. But like, I like there to be conversation happening. Like, I like there to be room for like talking, you know. And it's always rough. Like, I think you're a lot like that too, Alison. Like, you're cool with it. But there have been times where I've been like talking, and people are like, "We're playing a game," and I'm like, "Oops."
There's always that fourth one, which is like, it's just.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to socialize.
He had that built-in like arena clock, like ticking down. It's like, hey, your turn.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't realize we were in a rush to play this completely like non-competitive game.
What you gonna do? We're gonna call the judge about slow playing?
Yeah,
we're playing precons, for fuck's sake. What do you expect?
I love calling a judge when there's no judge there. I just go, judge, and then there's no one there, and I'll be like, they'll be here in a minute.
They're coming for you. They're coming to get you, Barbara.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
For me, Magic is just a context for knowing people and making bonds with people. That's why I think proxies are not the problem. The people are the problem. So if you have a play style and it's agreed upon it, like when we said earlier, the combinado não sai caro, when you agree upon something and everybody's clear on that, and you go and play upon what you agreed, it's hard to go wrong, even
it is. Proxy. But like, hey, I don't know if you can pull it up, Alison, but like that proxy deck, that the person who was selling all those really expensive proxy decks, where he even created like he made it look like they came in the Commander boxes, which they didn't. Like, he created it.
There's a disclaimer on the end. I'm gonna look it up. Hold on.
Yeah, I think
it'll look like this in the image, right? Like, it's got the whole box and everything, but at the bottom it says it does not come in a box because it's not official. And I think this person, I'd be interested to get your opinion, Duda, on like what you think of people who are trying to, like, say, make a living off of proxying or run a cottage industry where they're selling tons of cards and making a good amount of money. Like, we're talking like this person's making thousands of dollars at least in the past, few
plus a disclaimer, he's not the artist of those. Oh, no. That item isn't available, Mr.
Are they sold out?
No, it isn't available. Maybe he pulled the thing out.
Wow, because I was going to say, like, that one was testing the waters. Like,
yeah, I think the morality line lies on the deception. If we're trying to make it look like I think that it isn't, it's the line where I think it's a problem. Like the proxy guy makes art. It's not necessarily proxies. He makes art, and I think that's legit. But he's not trying to make anybody believe that those are real cards and those are sold in a specific way. No, he makes clear that it's a gift he gave to the people who support him and support his art. And I think that's the right way to do it. You have to sell art or pieces of game design. And I see proxy as a way to popularize the game and make it available for people who without it wouldn't be available. To have experiences that Magic can give you, but like at least that some old guys invented prevents them to have those experiences.
Right. Yeah. Like, yeah, exactly. Like there is a good, oh wait, what is this?
That is we don't have the Legend of Zelda one, but we have a custom Twilight.
You want to share the screen? This was one I was going to say something about, but then I just thought, oh my God, I can't even.
That's appropriate. Talking about Edgar.
Can you share the screen?
Yes, I will. Hold on.
Yeah, I think this is where the line lies, because it's easy for somebody to buy it thinking that's a real shit.
Yeah. It's
it's not clear.
But that's the problem. I think what was that? I think we have like their own Instagram. It's like what? It's not Outer's Leaves. It's one company that like they hire the artists and they have it made like custom shields, but they never use anything related to the Magic IP, and they only sell the shields that you would put on the front. Right? I do not recall which one, but
this one is so bad.
Yeah, I know this one is.
Can you go back to? Oh wait, what? No. Go back to the Edgar one, because I need to see. Like, first of all of this is either AI or it's stolen. But Brick, close up a little bit on this, because I want you to read. I want to read this. So this is Bella and Edward, Twilight Love. Okay,
it said it was made by Vulcan Bog.
I know. It literally says art by Vulcan Baga at the bottom. That is not Vulcan Baga's art. That's just lazy. But they took enough time to change the copyright to 2023. But yet they don't think to, and they took enough time to say not for sale, like it's some sort of fucking judge promo. And then meanwhile, leave Vulcan Baga's name in there. Like that is not, either it's a stolen publicity shot or it's AI from Twilight. But wait a minute, this is an entire deck, Alison.
Yeah, check. No, hold on. You want to see an absurd? Bella and Edward's cottage. That's the proxy of a basic mountain.
Well, wait. Does it come with? Does it come with like 100, or does it come with like 60 like mountains that look like that?
I don't know. Like they have all the cast, all prints. Hello, Magic player. Do you have a girlfriend? I doubt it.
How much is this?
That is $92.
Do you have a girlfriend? I doubt it. Oh,
that's a way to start a net.
Oh dear, $100 for that? What are the other cards in there? What are the other ghastly?
Oh, I don't know. It looks like is that the Edgar Markov Precon?
That is. Oh
Read
my
the
gosh.
Bones.
Yeah, that is Edgar Markov Precon.
Where? Gathering, it's Orzhov Guild Gates. No way, that's at least the group Guild Gates.
No, I think that was. I think that might have been. Go to the other cards, because I can tell you whether or not it's the Edgar.
And Werewolf Seeker. Gathering, that is a Orzhov Guild Gate, has legendary.
It has the Revenant's Ultimatum. That's definitely
Ruinous Ultimatum is not. But like, what is this? What is this? This is so like. This is not even remotely like. It's just like Bella and Jacob building bikes.
So that's the thing. Like closer than ever sounds so much like an instance of sorcery. It's a swamp, and then we have like Ashley Gray, Party Time. That source of blockers. I was like, no, it's a legendary creature.
It's really.
if I'm not Twilight versed,
lazy.
I mean, also no, wait, but I had a young cousin at the time Twilight came out, so I was forced to watch the movies. I've seen Twilight. This doesn't even make sense. Like Renaissance Colin, Soren, Vengeful Bloodlord.
You see, they did not even make the right proxy this time because it would be on the like they didn't even cut out the thing properly. It's not centered around the family.
No, well, I mean, it's also just it doesn't make any goddamn sense. Like what? How is that?
At least the Legend of Zelda deck, like that kind of made sense. That was an actual precon that he could buy, and he just did it.
The actual cards in this deck make sense as far as synergy goes, but as far as use of photographs, this is just bizarre. I mean, like I don't know if this person has seen Twilight, or I mean, or played Magic. I'm not sure if they've done either. Like this is really bad.
We just had that whole conversation about James Arnold's thing, and when you see the amount of work that guy puts into the card frames and the card logos, and and you see the
and the set symbols, like it's just.
And selling proxy for me, it's about selling art or selling game design pieces, but that is not making anything of those two ways. And I think that can be deception also. Like a mom that is buying magic cards for her children, and she knows that her children likes Crepúsculo. I was about to say like Twilight, and she found this listing and buys because it's magic cards from Twilight, and it's not even to say that it wouldn't happen because Secret Lair happens, Universes Beyond happens, so
it can
happen. And it's the problem here is the deception you can cause, and I think it's.
I want to bring another problem.
Not responsible.
I want to bring another problem to the table. I'm not going to show this. I'm not going to share the screen right now, but I believe we kind of tackled that on the Edgar Markov video. That is anime porn on the cards.
God.
I'm not going to go that rabbit hole, but just like keep it in your pants, all right? Just keep it in your pants. Just don't.
The proxies do not need to if your proxies are showing us what you're using for masturbation, then no. Like,
and hate speech is bad too.
Do people use hate speech proxies?
I don't know if they use for porn. They can use
porn is not. I mean, porn isn't bad in and of itself. It's just like I don't need to know what porn you like at a Commander game. Like
okay.
Like, but I mean, that makes me nervous.
I know people from Brazil that used to have Bolsonaro playmat, so.
But like, if your people
it's a step beyond that.
You know what? You're probably right, because I mean, I'm saying if people are doing, say, like if you are doing a communist, Magic set, so then that means you could probably do sort of any political ideology, which means if you're going to go into the far right zone, I'm sure that there's some scumbag out there who has done that. Oh, that makes me mad. Oh, that's terrible. I'd play the Twilight one first. Like,
definitely.
I'd be like, this one is crap, but at least it's not hate speech.
Oh heavens, that kind of reminds me, that goes back to like the AI art, because like now that's especially anime stuff. It's way more easy to do. I recall when I started playing, everybody was saying like the most graphical thing you could get was that Chandra and Liliana playmat, and that was like the thing. I think everybody already saw that, right? That Chandra and Liliana playmat of them just like laid together or something.
Yeah, it's like hornied up. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, that's disgusting, but like, whatever. Okay, it's not explicit. Now with AI, you're not only stealing, I don't know. It's
that
way
is
more
another
easy to do
fear that girls are already having to deal. That it's fake nudes from girls, from real girls.
Yep.
And it's already happening, and since everything goes to a proxy, that can be really problematic in a way.
I mean, it's amazing that these companies just like, they should just be like, all right, we can't allow this to be printed because this is a problem. Like, But this person, like the person, like I don't want to say their name on Etsy because I don't want to but they're selling $100 decks with all AI, like their Ayara, the first Blockplane deck they made, like for instance, if you can see it on there, Alison, if you go to their main page, they're selling these decks for $92, and they're using AI to make all the art for it, and that just chaps my ass, because in some of these instances, like you can see that they're stealing directly from Magic the Gathering artwork. Like I don't know if you can pull it up, Alison. I can send you the link, but
please do.
It is the damnation is clearly like sourcing the artwork for Magic. Let me see if let me know if that works. You can share it with Duda, because this stuff it crosses the line. It's like not only is it like kind of porny and weird and crappy, but it's also jacking the styles from Magic, and you can tell they were using like they've had the stuff sourced, and it bothers me. Like I don't know why this really does bother me. Like if
do you want me to share the screen?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Because
check this out.
This is I think if somebody came to the table with this kind of stuff, I would be like, no. Like if you go to the one where it's like, see go to the one down, it's like one further, you can see the damnation. Like if you go to the next batch of them, okay, I think damnation's being covered by the bright. There it is. Like that's clearly stealing the design, from
AI generation. It's already one step beyond what I think it's the cool thing about proxies that I was talking about.
And I mean, I guess I got to give this person props for putting in at the bottom AI generated, as though we couldn't tell. But that sign in blood, I don't know what's going on. But like
it's Lightning Greaves is not a Lightning Greaves.
Yeah, what is that? She's like,
lightning grass.
Lightning thighs.
Lightning thighs. That's we all know why they're buying this. No.
I want to know, like, do you have this in like hot dude version? Like, where's the hot dude version? Like, hello? Like
at least, right? At least
I want to see Crick with like a third nipple. Like that's what I want to see.
On the forehead.
I know. Weird hands.
No, let's be honest. $100, right? We all talk about secret layers and expensive and many new cards. If you get $100, you can get a pimped up don't Magic already has enough that you just like. Do you really need to?
You could buy 2 or 3 precons right there.
Do you really need to put like a witch weirdy thingy into?
Yeah, and it's for me it's contradictory, because proxy is about having access cheaper than it used to be. So here we are having access not cheaper but expensive.
That commits 2 sins. Like that's proxying the thing when you don't need to, and that's just like making it expensive. Like you remove the affordability factor, which was the main thing about proxies. If you want to play test something, proxy it up. Great.
And this person even has a Patreon that they charge. They
are strictly selling the stuff, not giving as a gift for somebody who supports him.
No, it's that's dirty. That's some dirty bird business.
And I think the proxy I defend is the proxy you do to have access to cards, not these kind of proxies, because maybe if you have the original card, and you want to give it a skin, but that's a weird taste. Okay.
Yeah, like nobody wants it's like, oh, I have the original card, so I'll replace it with some really friggin' weird looking AI garbage.
Exactly. I already have a Gaia's Cradle. I need a foil version for some reason. I was like,
I mean, like, yeah.
Why?
And it's like, and then what my Gaia's Cradle is going to look like is, imagine eating a lot of baby food, and then like giving yourself some laxatives and getting a big piece of white paper and just spreading your cheeks and just shitting on it. That's what that's going to look like in AI art. Like that's the version of Gaia Cradle. Like this stuff is disturbing. It's like,
yeah. Plus, I believe it might be kind of short-sighted and like harmful in overall for a game because like, well, concepts and licenses. We interview a lot of artists, and each one of them has a very good story for each of the cards that hit up them. Like every single, even for the writing, everything. Like
everything is made by a human. That. Yeah,
exactly, a human, exactly. And now if we had, if that reflecting, even that land that artist once used for, and he used the computer program. But like he made it, although he didn't use computer, like he rendered.
Yeah, he made it. Yeah, he made the digital design. Yeah,
But now, like even when people say like I need a better and more like I don't know better version, like Duda, you had that whole effective memory of Visitrix, right? They could sell a newer or different Visitrix, like they could like do a new art for it, but like you're still gonna have that effective like that emotional attachment to like the original card with the weird art that like some people would say.
Oh, you mean the previous printings, like previous? Printings?
Yeah, exactly. Like even if they release like a new Secret Lab one, like Duda might buy it because it's the card, right? But like she's gonna have like that attachment to maybe I presume like the art with the thing.
Oh yeah, it comes to the other part that I had touched before. That it's. I like to collect it, so I like it being hard to get. It's a personal thing, and I think it doesn't have to be the law. I don't think everybody needs to be like me, but it's the way I enjoy Magic.
But Duda, remember the other day you were punching me in the face and you said I had to be just like you, and I said why?
You wasn't supposed to disclose here.
That was private.
Cut it. Cut it.
It's done. It's done. Yeah.
No, I'm gonna get some more punches, aren't I?
Yeah. Get ready.
But no, I agree with you. I mean, totally. Like we all have our emotional attachments to like certain cards, and because they remind us of a certain time in our life or whatever. I mean, emotions are weird. They can connect to art the way that like we can't explain. And I don't think you can connect to that AI garbage. Like that does not give me emotions. That gives me like, well, okay, actually, that's a lie. I do get fear and disgust. So that, like, gives me that. And but I heard a quote the other day that was really interesting. And so I think if AI to be determined what is being used, like as far as art goes, that is something that the artistic community needs to decide as a community. Like all artists need to say, okay, we don't mind having AI parts of this added into say an editing program. We don't mind that. If they're cool with that, then then they're cool with it. But I don't think that people who aren't artists are allowed to call themselves artists or declare that what they're making is art, because that is not art. Like that's just a Google search that you did. And I'm sorry, but everybody can Google search. So
so some may say it's affordable, some may say it's something, but let's be let's be honest. We all have the tale of Mona Lisa and how long it took to be like painted and all that stuff. And there's probably even greater like paintings all over the place with more than that. If you start bringing your art, and I mean like art, if you start making this awesome art or something, and you kind of make it like Call of Duty, like a franchise that will make like once a year, you can lose the value, right? Like you can go to like anyone that was playing games in the 2010s or something. You can say like, hey, can you name the Call of Duties that were released like in that 10-year period? They're gonna like cite 3, but they're really gonna like those 3. Now in the last 10 years, it's like they released 1 a year, but no one remembers about that, and that kind of translates into art. Like you're just making it like a pipeline, and again, loses the value, loses the reason.
It's a problem. And see, so like I think that's the one proxy that I think I would firmly put my foot down. If somebody brought in some AI generated stuff, I'd be like, nah, sorry. Like you have to put a little more effort into your proxies. You can't just like
maybe if you did it yourself, right? Like, oh, I had the computer, I tried it.
I would love that. If somebody made like I still kept it to this day. Like this, somebody like gave me, because he didn't have one. He drew me like a dragon token, and it is the silliest. Like it looks like the caveman did it. It's like it's the funniest, like terrible token. But I put it in a deck because I loved it so much. So if somebody comes in and says like, I've designed art for all of these cards, I'd be like, I'd be like, let me see. That would be amazing. But that's different than just like, oh, I AI did it. And like, and the worst part is those AI, like they charge you a monthly fee to be part of that thing. So you're paying somebody who's stolen that. Like, it bothers me that somebody's getting paid to be a
you either pay someone who stole it, and it's clearly not regulated, so the company that's behind it is clearly just gonna go like haywire all over it.
We can't do anything about it.
Exactly. Or you go and you kind of research and learn how to do your own AI, which is possible. It is possible, but difficult as fuck.
I mean, if you're that interested in becoming an artist, why don't you just fucking pick up a pencil and just like
it might be easier. It might be easier to just start drawing than learning AI from scratch.
If it's not easier, it's certainly less horrible.
Well, pencils are expensive, but a computer that can run some AI for like 24/7, that's a good investment.
Yeah, but you know what's a good investment? Your future. And if you want to do art, like get a pencil. It's an essential tool from what I understand.
Worst case scenario, do like Bob Ross. At least, you know, he did it quick, but you know what? It had heart.
Bob Ross used pencils, Alison.
Oh, I mean,
we all use pencils. I've got one right now. Wait, actually, no, I have a pen. But, you know, like you don't have to get a fancy pencil. You don't have to get like the graphite, like super special edition. Just get a number 2 pencil and a doodle pad and make your magic art there. Don't AI it, because that's just, I'm going to have to throw rotten eggs at you. That happens.
You're going to be public.
I carry rotten eggs with me wherever I go to.
We might need to bring the Inquisition back to just hunt out break proxy artists.
Seriously, like
and nobody expects the Spanish.
That's so funny because the guy who's selling all those proxies is from Spain, so it's funny.